lost 30 pounds and now have kept it off for over a decade and help women do the exact same thing. I'm addressing this video to my former self, so if you think some of these are a little bit harsh, don't say I didn't warn you. Number one, you can get super fat eating healthy, especially if you are not tracking your calories, okay? So I was vegan and vegetarian for a good decade of my life, and I thought that if I ate healthy, I would just lose fat, and that is how it worked. Oh boy, was I wrong. Little did I know that if you are consuming too many calories over your maintenance calories, your body is going to store that excess amount of energy in your fat cells. If you're not consuming enough calories, your body has to make up the energy balance difference from somewhere, so it pulls energy from your fat stores. So no matter what you eat, if you are eating in an excess amount of calories, your body will turn that into fat. One of the easiest ways that I gaslit myself into thinking that I was doing all of the right things is just over consuming fruits and high protein shitty products like protein bars, protein cookies, protein muffins, protein everything. Sure, maybe I was hitting my protein goal with those items. However, I was also over consuming in carbs and fat, which in excess, I was over consuming calories. So if you're just starting out your journey, I would suggest just tracking what you are currently eating and then going from there. And then assessing what kind of swaps you can make to your diet so that you can incorporate more whole foods, more protein for less calories to keep you nice and full and satiated. Second thing is that you do not get too bulky from having too much muscle. You get bulky from having too much fat. So many women shy away from building muscle, and first of all, you will not turn into the Incredible Hulk doing one squat or drinking one protein shake. You have to be so dialed in and intentional with everything that you've been doing for years, really taxing and stimulating your muscles appropriately in order to gain that muscle. Having muscle and then losing the body fat around the muscle is going to make you look nice and toned. Number three, please do not eat back the calories you've burned. When you do this, you are eating yourself out of a caloric deficit. Often when we look at the calorie burn on your Oura Ring or Apple Watch or your Garmin, whatever fitness tracking device you are using, that is likely overestimating the calories that you truly did burn during that session. And it's just so easy to justify having an extra Oreo, having an extra cookie, or whatever it is because you deserve the calories. My advice to you would be to be less concerned about the calories that you are burning and more concerned about the calories that you actually are consuming. Number four, peanut butter is not a protein source. Nor are nuts, nor are beans, nor are lentils. These are foods that just contain some protein but are mainly carbs and or fat sources. They have protein in them but are not a protein source. By the time you actually hit your protein goal with those foods, you are going to take yourself out of a caloric deficit. An easy way to tell if something is a good source of protein or not is to take the amount of grams of protein it has, times that by 10, and if it's more than the calories of the item, it's a good source of protein. So something like chicken breast, for example, for 120 calories of chicken breast, you're getting 26 grams of protein. If you times 26 by 10, you get 260. That is way more than 110. Most protein powders, you get around 24 grams of protein for 110 calories. You multiply 24 by 10 and get 240. That's more than 110, which is a fantastic protein option. Something like peanut butter for 190 calories, you're only getting 8 grams of protein. If you multiply 8 times 10, you get 80, which is a lot lower than 190. Peanut butter, not a good source of protein. Feel free to use this tip every single time you are trying to decide if something is a good protein source or not. Next, if you didn't plan dinner, don't worry. Uber Eats already did. I get it, you had a long day with the kids, running errands, working, and now all you want to do is just sit and rot on your couch with your favorite Chinese food. You also probably have so much decision fatigue from making decisions throughout the day. And now, if you didn't plan dinner, it is just so easy to justify and so easy just to go on your phone and click order. And this is why it's so important to have a plan and stick to it. My biggest tip for you to avoid these sneaky situations would be to meal prep twice per week. And I would suggest bulk meal prepping, where you are making a bunch of, for instance, chicken breasts or a bunch of ground turkey 2 days out of the week, one at the beginning of the week and then one near the middle, the end of the week, so that you are prepared for the first half of the week and then going into the sneaky weekend where, of course, these kind of temptations are a little bit more alluring. And so this obviously you can do with any sort of thing. You can boil a bunch of potatoes all at once, just store them in the fridge, grill just a bunch of chicken breasts, make a bunch of ground beef, just store it in the fridge, and then you can have grab and go options, right? And then you can just add in different condiments, different herbs, spices, whatever it is, in order to make a full and balanced meal. Now, I'm not saying you can never have Uber Eats ever again, because absolutely you can make things fit within your calories. However, also pre-planning foods within MyFitnessPal goes such a long way, because now you're not stuck playing Tetris at the end of the night, trying to figure out how to get 30 more grams of protein, 5 more grams of carbs, and 2 more grams of fat. This one is one that I have learned from a lot of my clients over the past few years, and that is you can always trust a mom to get the job done, except when the job is herself. And I am always here to change that. There's just so much guilt in you prioritizing yourself, which is just so silly. You need to literally fill your own cup, ladies, before you can help other people. In addition, when you start prioritizing your own health and you start doing things that, make you feel good, like drinking your water, making time for exercise, making things non-negotiables, you become the standard of how people around you should also be treating yourself, okay? Your kids look up to you like you are a goddess. Okay, so you better start acting like one, because your kids are like little sponges and their little brains are going to soak up everything that you do. So you better start prioritizing yourself and setting a good example. They're just some of the brutal truths that come up again and again for my former self and from a lot of my clients. Let me know if you want a part 2 and I'll make sure to make it happen. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a huge thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye.